Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, City of Windhoek and Paratus clash continues. Political parties and bad reporting responsible for disinformation, says IPPR. Government given ultimatum to respond to the state of basic education. And bats and pangolins linked to coronavirus.
A group of desperate workers were sent home after the Windhoek City Police confiscated machinery and a truck belonging to a company subcontracted by Paratus Telecom. The dust has not yet settled between the city of Windhoek and Paratus Telecom as workers who were digging trenches along Nelson Mandela Avenue in Klein Windhoek for the installation of fiber optic cables were stopped by the city police, who also confiscated their vehicle and equipment in the process. According to Andrew Hall, the managing director of Paratus Telecom, they have notified the city of Windhoek 4 weeks in advance before they commenced with the operations.
We were delivered a letter yesterday in Independence Avenue in Katatura, while we were busy laying infrastructure to an unserviced area in Katatura to give the residents of Windhoek access to the internet. And again, this letter stated that we were in contravention of the application process and that we didn't have any approval to carry on. So I resume what happened today is, as they saw, we continued as per our rights to dig in Klein Windhoek. They pitched up with the city police and they confiscated our equipment as well as one of our vehicles. They refer to a contravention of a Local Authorities Act, which nobody has clearly stated to us what that contravention is. The matter has also been referred to CRAN, which is our regulator of the Communications Act. And CRAN currently, we had a meeting last year where they want to act as a mediator to find an amicable solution. The thing just is that the City of Windhoek is not a license holder, so they do not fall under the jurisdiction of the regulator at this stage. And yes, the matter to date is unresolved. It is costing us reputational damage. We cannot deliver a service to our customers. We cannot do what our license obligates us to do, and that is deliver internet or services to the general public of Windhoek. And this is what you have as a result of that.
Today on One also spoke to one of the supervisors from the company subcontracted by Paratus Telecom, and he said that 25 of his workers had to be sent home and left without work.
Currently, we have about 25 workers on site. We are 2 foremen plus the contractor himself. All these men are now without a job. They all have wives and children and are now jobless. So I do not know how the government and the municipality expect us to move forward if we gladly try to create jobs and then we are stopped to continue with your work. I don't know what all this is about. Let's just continue with our work. The fiber is for everyone. It will benefit everyone in the future.
According to the City of Windhoek's Manager for Corporate Communications, Harold Akwenye, the council passed a resolution where they have called on the city police to enforce the municipal bylaws in order to stop Paratus from digging on the City of Windhoek's property.
We're not aware of that notification. So it's just a matter, if we inform the City of Windhoek, it's just a matter of coming back and sit on the table and inform us again in order for us to reach a consensus. So, but in the meantime, the bylaws have been enforced, and that's where where we stand at this point in time. This issue has been coming ever since last year, where we asked them actually to refrain from entrenching or digging on our land. So council actually passed a resolution where they said in order for city police to enforce the bylaws, so the bylaws have been enforced in order to stop Paratus entrenching on our land, and that's till further notice.
According to Hall, they allegedly received a letter from the City of Windhoek in May 2018, which clearly states that the city also has the intention of laying out fiber optic cables in the city, further claiming that there was a direct conflict of interest and that the city was using its authority of power to stop Paratus Telecom from competing with them.
The
The Spark Green Tech sale is back with products priced to go. So don't miss out on incredible deals like Bacoma Pro Nutro for only $33.99 and 1 litre Spark fruit juice for just $13.69. The Spark Green Tech sale ends 22 March, so don't miss out.
The Institute of Public Policy Research IPPR released a report on disinformation within the Namibian society, alleging that political parties are often culprits in spreading of misinformation through the media. IPPR Research Associate Frederico Links said that political parties call press conferences to release sensitive information instead of giving it to the law enforcement.
The new opposition party in parliament, the LPM, they've had various press conferences around dodgy things happening in the election. And here again, I mean, there's a quote there that speaks to that, where they talk about rigging and so on. We're talking about electoral fraud, which is a criminal activity. And you're not taking it to the police, you're making press statements. That is disinformation. You're putting information out in public, saying things, and then walking away as if what you said. These things have consequences, statements like these. And that's where a lot of the disinformation also emanates from our political parties, politicians, just calling press conferences, making claims which they don't subject to legal processes, and then walk away. Disinformation.
Links added that bad reporting by reputable media institutions could also lead to disinformation within the Namibian society.
And I have to single out the Namibia Broadcasting Corporation here. There was some really bad stuff there. So, can you give an example? Well, I mean, there was bad single source reports. There was the whole thing around the SWAPO manifesto launch and how that played out. How the broadcaster allowed itself to be intimidated into rebroadcasting. And then, I mean, there was some, in the report there will be examples of some of the bad reporting, not just from the NBC, but basically from everybody else. I mean, Eagle FM got that whole, after the 13th, Eagle FM published on its Twitter page results from South Africa, that they said was from South Africa. And then, I mean, they had to retract that and say, you know, we made a mistake with just publishing stuff, and that sort of thing contributed to the confusion after the special vote. The Namibian had a report, for instance, about constituencies in which they said there were 144 constituencies in the country. When there are 121 basic mistakes.
In conclusion, Link suggested that the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology should rather implement self-regulatory policies for social media through multi-stakeholder engagements.
Get on board the Love Train. Make this Valentine's Day truly unforgettable with a romantic breakaway on the beautiful refurbished Jewel of Namibia, the Desert Express. Enjoy a stunning 3-course meal, romantic stopover, and dance the night away with other couples to a live DJ. Email dx@transnamib.com.na to book your exciting Valentine's Day on the train. The Desert Express, the Jewel of Namibia.
You could win a double ticket to join the Valentine's Day party on the Desert Express. Just send an SMS with your name, town, and the words Desert Express to 555.
At a press conference on the state of basic education, the Students' Union of Namibia lamented government on the unaddressed issues in the education sector, such as the Universal Primary Education Fund, education materials, and learner-to-teacher violence in schools. The union's president, Simon Amunime, requested the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture to release the 15-day statistics of the number of learners enrolled at every school to date, asking that the government finds a solution for those who have not been enrolled. Amunime further emphasized on the lack of education materials such as tables and chairs, textbooks and stationeries in some areas of the country.
So if we go in March, where we are even celebrating independence, if we go in March and find that learners are still struggling without chairs, and all these requests and demands that were put through to government are not implemented, we are going to mobilize all those learners that don't have chairs or facilities that were requested to occupy governors' offices, so that the governors can go and operate from those schools where there are no materials. Because governors are individuals that are supposed to bring development and assist the region of their jurisdiction. They get paid a lot of money, they drive a lot of luxurious vehicles. They are the representative of the president in every region. So these are people that get resources every year from government, but we still question their roles in the region. We find textbooks in schools that have been operational maybe for the last 10 years. Some, the content is questionable, some pages are missing. So it's worrisome to say that we are entering into a new decade. The New York government with the new curriculum are able to procure a new textbook that are revised, because you can't just introduce a new curriculum and yet you want to use older textbooks. So we are saying it's very important and pertinent that we procure new textbook that goes hand in hand with the introduction of the new curriculum in terms for learning to take place in that regard.
SAN has also discouraged against learner-to-teacher violence, calling on police visibility in the vicinity of schools. The Union Secretary General Bernard Kavau requested that the Universal Primary Education Fund be increased to 160% for each learner to ensure quality delivery of education under the reformed curriculum.
When a learner comes with an object at school, sometimes it's because of they feel threatened in the street. They might wish to protect themselves. Now at the end, that tool will be used wrongly in the classroom. So what we are calling for is the police must be visible at hotspot schools, example like in Katutura and also in Riverbed. We need them to be visible during morning hour and knocking hours. What we are encouraging is teachers must also be cautious on dealing with different matters. Okay? You can't just go, for example, we are only hearing one side of the story. A learner was outside, then the teacher pulled him, then the learner just went to bring a knife. Okay? We believe learners are not crazy. Those are just allegations. We should look at the matter correctly. What we are saying is that, look, we should not harass learners. There are various ways on how we can deal with this matter rather than expulsion. Why don't we increase the number of counselors at school? There are some schools that have more than 3,000 learners, but you only get one life skills teacher. So it's really a problem.
The union has given the government until March to respond to the matter.
Get on board the Love Train. Make this Valentine's Day truly unforgettable with a romantic breakaway on the beautiful refurbished Jewel of Namibia, the Desert Express. Enjoy a stunning 3-course meal, romantic stopover, and dance the night away with other couples to a live DJ. Email dx@transnamib.com.na to book your exciting Valentine's Day on the train. The Desert Express, the Jewel of Namibia.
You could win a double ticket to join the Valentine's Day party on the Desert Express. Just send an SMS with your name, town, and the words Desert Express to 555.
Could bats and pangolins be the cause of the 2019 corona outbreak? More evidence demonstrates the connection between the virus and other similar viruses spreading amongst bats. Researchers are further suspecting that pangolins may have also been responsible for the spread of the 2019 coronavirus. The World Health Organization confirmed that more than 43,000 people around the world have been affected by the recent coronavirus outbreak, of which 42,708 cases, as well as over 1,000 deaths, were reported in China alone. Although the cause of the virus is still being debated, multiple sources, including the WHO, have speculated that the virus broke out at a seafood and wild animal market in Wuhan, the Hubei province of China. It is alleged that a wide variety of animals, including dogs, rats, bats, and even pangolins, are sold there. Recent studies show that over 500 coronaviruses have been identified in bats in China. Bats are also rumored to have been the cause of SARS, MERS, and Ebola outbreaks. According to sources, pangolins, an endangered and protected animal, often illegally poached for its scales that are used in traditional Chinese medicine, have also been identified as a carrier of the virus by researchers Shen Yongyi and Zhao Lihua of South China Agriculture University in Guangzhou. WHO representative to Namibia, Dr. Charles Sagoa Moses, gave today on One an update on the virus.
There are over 400 experts and scientists at the moment having a meeting in Geneva looking at research and development and also trying to understand the disease a bit more and to see the best way to know the causes, the best way to know how to detect it, to prevent it, and to contain the disease. So these are ongoing at the moment. In terms of when we are going to get a cure of
For one woman, a crippling lack of self-confidence led to a secret addiction that overshadowed her entire life.
If you should see any woman who is in this clutches of alcoholism, don't hesitate to direct that person to me so that I can share the story with the person.
Kenyan hip-hop artist Jim Watt, who was hooked to the bottle for 5 years and is now 5 years sober.
50 Cent says, just a little bit, not too much.
Wow, I love that. Addiction kills, recovery heals.
That's totally something I've been through.
In other leading stories, unemployed youth at Ocho are up in arms as they claim that entry-level vacancies at the town are being given to children of the liberation struggle, which can be filled by locals. They also claim that the correct employment procedures, like shortlisting and interviews, were also not followed. The angry youth said that they have had engagements with the constituency councillor, the mayor of Ocho, Regional Health Director for the Kunene region, and management at the Ocho State Hospital, but no solution was found. They are now planning a demonstration on the 14th of February 2020 to express their disappointment in the way the matter is being handled. And the First Right Namibia Foundation recently handed over equipment valued at 92,000 Namibia dollars to the Okakarara Vocational Training Center. According to Sakias Buhamba, VTC head for trainee support, Namibia needs robust interventions from all sectors of the economy to bridge the skills gap, promote the social welfare of the general populace, and eradication of poverty through self-employment. The centre officially opened its doors in 1997 and is the oldest centre under the NTA. The centre conducts its operations under the realm of the Vocational Education and Training Act No. 1 of 2008, which makes provision for the management and control of all state-owned vocational training centres to be devolved upon the Namibia Training Authority until such time that these centres, in the opinion of the Board of Directors of the NTA, are transformed into self-reliant vocational education and training providers.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. Recent CCTV footage from the Windhoek City Police shows a pedestrian being hit by a motorcycle as he attempted to cross the road. The City Police is therefore urging drivers to adhere to road speed limits that are set in certain areas, especially in residential zones. Thomas said it is important for road users to stick to the speed limit because it is risky not to do so. KB said at times pedestrians walk on the road with no regards for oncoming vehicles. Guju said a number should be provided to report or send footage of such cases. Franz said those caught speeding should also be fined 8,000 Namibia dollars. Oscar said school-going learners are also to blame as they walk on the road where cars are driving. Knowledge Ipinge, the newly elected councillor for the Walfish Bay Urban Constituency, met with residents from Walfish Bay and Swakopmund to discuss the way forward with regards to the fight against corruption in the fishing sector. Denner said the councillor should not just talk but implement, create or build something to show that he is at work. Jonas said the councillor's speech made no sense and asked whether he actually knows politics. Tulongengi described the new constituency leader as the people's councillor. While Sequoia said ideas can be there, but implementation is zero. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
The UN recently passed a resolution demanding the UK return control of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius.
It's basically me using what I have and showing that I'm an artist because an artist has to be unique.
Welcome to BBC What's New. Now, can you imagine building your own plane like this one?
Welcome to Sport Africa. The BBC's new weekly show will explore the big sporting issues and questions, like why Africans aren't winning medals in the pool.
I just think it's their mindset.
Meeting established and rising stars.
I could be the Nigerian first Grand Slam winner.
And at the heart of it will be you, the fans, with your passion, your opinions, your stories, and even tests of your sporting knowledge. Go beyond the game with BBC Sport Africa.
A look at the weather forecast. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and hot to very hot in the southwest and the northeast. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and hot to very hot with a few to isolated thunder showers at places. The coast partly cloudy and warm with fog patches at places, and the wind light to moderate northwesterly to southwesterly. Now we look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.